today. Welcome to the House Transportation and Public Safety Budget Committee. We will start with the Kansas Highway Patrol budget recommendations. And to kick us off with 2024, can I get a motion to go with the governor's recommendation on FY24? Can I get a second? Any discussion on FY24? If there's no discussion, all in favor of going with the governor's rec on FY24, say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. All right, motion passes. Moving to FY25, can I get a motion to go with governor's rec on FY25?
So moved.
Can I get a second? Any discussion on FY25? All right, all in favor of the motion, say aye. Opposed, no. The motion passes. Kansas Highway Patrol may have been the easiest one so far. All right, we will close that budget recommendation and we will move on to the Kansas State Fraternal Order of Police. Or I apologize, the parole officers. Real quick before you get started, and I apologize if there's no objection from the committee with Kansas Highway Patrol, do you guys mind? I know we had Motorola come in and look at license plate readers. Could we put it into the record that when I report out to the full appropriations committee that we look at federal funds for that, and if we can't find federal funds to I guess further the discussion in the full appropriations committee, because Motorola would have liked us to do it in KHP, but we wanted more discussion. Is there any objection to that? You object? Okay. All right. We'll note that. All right. Thank you. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Chairman Anderson, members of the committee. My name is Amanda Wood. It's my privilege to address you today in the capacity as a representative of the Kansas State Fraternal Order of Police. For the past decade, I've served as a parole officer within the Kansas Department of Corrections. In my role with the Fraternal Order of Police, it's my responsibility to advocate for the rights and interests of 104 parole officers and 9 special agents, all of whom are dedicated employees of the Kansas Department of Corrections. We are grateful for your willingness to allocate time from your hectic schedule today to meet and engage in conversation regarding our salary. All of these professionals that work for the Kansas Department of Corrections work tirelessly in the community, providing support and guidance to individuals who have previously served time in state prisons for serious offenses, including sexual assault, murder, kidnapping, and human trafficking. Our special agents play a crucial role in apprehending the fugitives, while our officers are responsible for closely monitoring the individuals on supervision, who often are in possession of illegal weapons. Furthermore, our agency has recently established a partnership with supervision agencies, which allows for the consolidation of supervision and court responsibilities for identified individuals under one entity. This collaboration serves as yet another justification for equal compensation across the board. Currently, the starting salary for our state parole officer ones is $24.48 an hour. These officers are responsible for monitoring and making decisions on whether to detain individuals. However, our community corrections officers who have similar employment responsibilities begin as new recruits for $25 an hour. However, they don't have the authority to make arrests or approve any monitoring decisions, as that responsibility ultimately lies with the court. Court services officers who also have similar job responsibilities have no liability as well. That lies with the court as well. They start their career at $27 an hour and reach $30 by the end of the first year. This significant disparity in wages has posed challenges in recruiting qualified candidates. Previously, we used to receive 20 applications or more and conduct interviews for a single position. However, now we only receive a few applications and only a few of those individuals actually attend the interview. Additionally, retaining employees after training is a challenge, which incurs substantial costs. They often switch to other agencies that offer higher hourly wages. Moreover, Due to the widening pay gap, it has even been difficult to find qualified individuals. This issue persists more as local agencies raise their initial salaries. Throughout the previous 10 years, there have been increases in pay, but the majority of those allocated funds are focused on our understaffed, underpaid correctional facilities. While we acknowledge the importance of addressing this matter and support the increase for pay for those state employees working in correctional facilities, this has caused an increasing trend of highly skilled individuals choosing to pursue a career with local community corrections agencies or court services agencies, primarily due to the significant pay difference between local and state agencies. Unfortunately, the Kansas Department of Corrections is failing to provide competitive compensation for these roles. Respectfully, we ask this committee to address this inequity by increasing the compensation for parole officer ones by 14.38% and increasing the compensation for parole officer twos by 11.2% and special agents by 11.2% as well. The objective of these salary modifications would be to align compensation for these three positions with the prevailing market rate provided to court services officers and county probation officers. These adjustments would establish equity in pay across these roles, and the exclusive outcome of these percentages would be to establish a just salary framework harmonizing the pay between what other state agencies and counties provide their staff in similar situations. I appreciate your attention to this matter, and I would like to express my gratitude for the opportunity to present my testimony today. I'm also available to address any inquiries at the appropriate moment.
Well, thank you for your testimony today, Amanda. Could you touch on the surrounding states in the region, or maybe nationwide?
My conversations with other states have included Oklahoma and Nebraska. Personally, that I've talked to them. Nebraska told me they were paying between $40 and $44 an hour. Oklahoma's right around 35 or higher, just to walk in the door. And if you include federal agencies, obviously that gets much higher.
Are there any further questions for Amanda from the committee? Representative Resman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The reason why well, you have to help me out here. The reason why we have such a low pay rate for up to parole officers is because they just have been getting their pay raises the same as everybody else, like the 5% per year, like every other employee, and because they started lower than, I guess, average employees.
Yes. When I started with the Kansas Department of Corrections, we were making $16.58 an hour, and at that time, even court services or community corrections was paying higher than we were.
So if these raises were to take effect, would that kind of compact all the other, I guess, people for longevity? So
it would. My ask would be for a base pay raise, obviously, but for those that had been there for longer, for it to be applied based on what they were earning currently, and not to move everybody just to base pay.
Okay, so if somebody's been there 10 years, they would get special agents, they would get an 11% pay raise across the board.
Correct.
No matter how long they've been there?
Correct. That's what I'm asking.
Representative Carr.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Can you give us, you've got the parole officer 1, 2, and 3, or
Parole officer 1, 2, and special agent.
Special agent. What's the difference in the 1 and 2?
So the 1 and 2, so a parole officer 1 is basically anybody that starts in the door, and it's also going to be your entry level position. A parole officer 2 is basically an assistant supervisor.
Okay, and if I might have a follow up. So to become an assistant supervisor, how long generally are you at the parole officer 1 phase? And compound question, and are you automatically at some point moved to a parole officer 2?
No. So to answer your second question first, there is no automatic movement. It's an application process for a promotion. We generally suggest that it takes about 2 years to learn a parole officer 1 job before you're ready to put in an application for a parole officer 2. Unfortunately, due to our issues with finding experienced individuals and the turnover rate in certain parts of the state, we see that promotion happen much quicker.
One last follow up. When you say much quicker, what do we mean by much quicker?
6 months, 8 months.
Okay, thank you.
Representative Weigel.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you for your presentation. So, under your formula here, a parole officer 1 would be starting somewhere around 57,000 a year.
Yes, I believe that is
Okay.
correct.
Does that do those job descriptions that include the absconder unit? What I used to call the absconder unit, is that included in those?
So that is our special agents. They handle the absconders at this point in time. Once somebody is declared an absconder, the file is transferred to our special agents to work that case.
How many of those people that are dedicated to that are, how many?
We have 9.
9?
9 and 1 supervisor.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you,
welcome.
Mr. Chairman.
Representative Resman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. How short are you on parole officers 1?
Right now, the last number that I got, we have 4 vacant positions currently.
And how about for 2?
For parole officer 2s, we have 1 vacant position.
And special agents?
Special agents, they have no vacancies at this point in time. Some of those positions have been eliminated though.
And how many do you need of those that are eliminated? Do you really need to have to make your office work efficiently?
Honestly, I can't give you a number. I will say that when I started there, we had 4 special agents and the supervisor in that office, and it worked much more efficiently. We're down to 3 total in the office, including the supervisor.
Any further questions from the committee? All right, Amanda. Thank you very much.
You.
Appreciate your testimony. All right. I think that is all for today. And any comments from the committee? We are adjourned.